Hi, this is Robert with CRUZBIKE, and today I'm going to show you how to adjust the headset on your T50. Your headset should be nice and snug with a free movement back and forth of the bearings. If you notice any movement of the front end, it's likely that there is a little bit of slack in the headset, which is easily adjusted. Check the adjustable spacer. If it moves freely or moves up and down at all, it will definitely need adjustment. There will always be a small gap between the headset and the fork crown. That is due to the thickness of the crown race. At the top of the headset, you have an adjustable spacer which expands in order to set the bearing tension. You might also have a locking spacer and the pivot clamp which holds the riser to the steer tube. The adjustable spacer is what we need to adjust to set the tension in the bearing. For this adjustment, we will need a 5mm Allen wrench for the pivot clamp. We will also need a 3mm Allen, and that is for the locking spacer if your T50 is equipped with one. We will also need a 2mm Allen, that is to loosen and tighten the set screw in the adjustable spacer. We will also need a 40mm headset wrench and also a 36mm headset wrench. The first step is to take the 2mm Allen and find the small set screw in the adjustable spacer. We want to loosen it. We don't need to remove the screw, but that will allow us to fully close and also open the adjustable spacer. We want to make sure that it is adjusted as small as possible. If your T50 is equipped with a locking spacer, we will use a 3mm Allen to loosen the locking headset spacer. And finally, we will use our 5mm Allen to loosen the pivot clamp so that we can make an adjustment downward onto the bearings on the steer tube of the fork. Here we can see now that these items have been loosened, there is a movement of the steer tube in the headset. That is what we want to take up the slack. Now that everything is loose, we can put some downward pressure, making sure that the adjustable spacer is closed. Because it opens and closes, it's threaded, so we want to make sure it is completely closed so we have the most expansion available to us. Once that is closed, we are going to put downward pressure, making sure everything is aligned. And we are going to hold that pressure down onto the headset. Once we have ensured that there is enough downward pressure and no slack, we're going to use our 3mm Allen and also our 5mm Allen to tighten the locking spacer if equipped, and also tighten the pivot clamp with the 5mm Allen. If your T50 does not have the locking spacer, the pivot clamp will act as the locking spacer, locking the entire assembly down against the adjustable spacer. Once those top parts are locked down, we can take our 40mm headset wrench and our 36mm headset wrench, and we will turn them in opposite directions, which will expand the locking spacer upwards and downwards, which will set the bearing tension. It is very important not to over-tighten or over-expand the adjusting spacer. We want to tighten it until it is just snug and there is no slack in the bearings. Then we will take our 2mm Allen and lock down the adjusting spacer, so that way the spacer will not come loose as you ride. can verify how smooth the bearing is. Also rock the bike back and forth and feel for any movement in the bearing. And that sets your headset tension on your CRUZBIKE T50. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at support@cruzbike.com. Thank you.